Welcome back to Lariat TV News. We're excited to bring you the first newscast of the semester. I'm Claire Goodyear.
And I'm Lauren Holcomb. To start off the school year, we have an update on the wanted suspect who was arrested near Baylor's campus Tuesday night.
Special agents with the Texas Department of Public Safety arrested Brandon Fritz just 1 block away from Baylor's campus. The arrest was made just before 6 p.m. at the Baylor Arms Apartment Complex on 9th Street. Fritz was taken in for parole violation and unlawful possession of a firearm at around 5:50 on Tuesday night. Fritz was previously convicted 3 times since 2006 and has already had a pending charge on his record. Baylor spokesperson Lori Fogelman said no danger was posed to Baylor students and the situation was swiftly resolved. And because there was police activity near campus, Baylor PD was notified and assisted with ensuring student safety. He is currently being held in the McLennan County Jail without bond.
Recently, James Street has looked less like a college neighborhood and more like a construction site. Claire Goodyear asked students how they feel about the disruption.
Previously, James Street has been a convenient place for Baylor students to live until recent construction took over.
They're just like destroying the road. I don't really know what they're doing, and they don't reach out enough at all.
In the early hours of the morning on the second day of school, some residents were made aware of alarming news.
And they knocked on the door and then they were like, hey, we're getting rid of your driveway. All the people that were still sleeping, they were like, what do we do?
After realizing that the driveway was gone and his car was trapped, one student got creative.
I gotta go like through my front yard and through my neighbor's front yard in order to get to a road that we're there. And that's just like not how it's supposed to be, and it really gets real messy.
And the cars aren't the only problem. Pedestrians also face the consequences of construction.
Me and my friends that live here will just sit like on the couch at night, and it looks like a zombie apocalypse because people are like coming from the bars and like falling down the trench. So it's pretty crazy.
It seems that these ditches, along with all of the problems they cause, will be around for a while. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Goodyear.
Former Baylor soccer player who claimed header drills caused traumatic brain injuries has settled her lawsuit with the university. Eva Mitchell was seeking a minimum of $75,000 for brain damage she received during her lone season at Baylor in 2019. She and Baylor reached a confidential settlement. Baylor spokesperson Lori Fogelman said university officials declined to comment on the settlement. After transferring from the University of Kentucky, Mitchell suffered 2 concussions at Baylor. Her lawsuit notably left out former Baylor soccer coach Paul Jobson, who resigned in November 2022.
The OLA office for accommodations was set to reopen in the basement of Sid Richardson at the start of this school year, but as of now, the office is still under construction. I caught up with petitioners about the progress. Construction began for this new office in May of this year and was predicted to finish by the start of the semester. However, students needing this accommodation testing space are still using the old facility on the first floor.
It's not particularly a bad thing. We're just really trying to figure out what exactly the next step is once construction is done.
When Baylor announced this change last semester, a big concern for OLA students was that they were being hidden in the basement. But Baylor has assured them that this is an upgrade with 300 more square feet and 5 extra testing rooms that the first floor doesn't allow them to have. 14 other student service offices are also being relocated. Baylor says they want to consolidate student services into Sid Richardson and turn it into a hub for all things student aid.
Now we're at a point where we can't really do anything about it. It's not like we were personally targeted. Multiple departments were moved. And so now we're just trying to sort of kind of figure out how exactly to go about it and how to make it easier for the students with accommodations to get downstairs.
As of now, we do not know when construction is going to finish up for the new facility in the basement. For Lariat TV News, I'm Lauren Holcomb.
There's one campus celebrity who's hoping his hobby will land him on the big stage. Gracie Savage tells us more.
Baylor Public Health senior Ani Nair not only excels in difficult classes, but also makes time for one specific hobby.
In Wake Up, pretty much played in every bar. I played at Scruff's, Austin's. I played at the Backyard, which was amazing, like every time I've played there.
Nair has been DJing and producing music for a little over 1 year. He says he started this hobby because he was mentally drained from all of his hard classes and needed a creative outlet. And in just a short amount of time, this gig has taken off for him.
I played in other cities. I played in Austin. I played in New York City this past summer.
His side gigs don't stop at the turntables. He also has a collaboration with a streetwear brand called Fino Street. They made Nair his own custom shirt to sell at his gigs. This is how they set that up.
Diego just reached out to me one night before playing the backyard, and he was like, hey, do you want to get like a custom Ani X Fino Street shirt? And I was like, honestly, I'd love that.
For Ani, this is just the start of what he hopes will be a big-time career.
I think my biggest goal is to honestly headline all these major festivals like Coachella, Tomorrowland, EDC. Like, I want to close them out. Like, I don't just want to play there, I want to be like the main act.
For Lariat TV News, I'm Gracie Savage.
If you're planning on using dining dollars at Starbucks, make sure you have their app downloaded first. Starbucks shops on campus now require students to load their dining dollars into the Starbucks app to pay. Up until this year, students with dining dollars could swipe their IDs to pay at the kiosk. Now, you can only pay with credit or by loading the money as a QR code on the app. Students are getting to the front of lines in between classes just to be sent to the back to download the app and order again or pay with credit.
I definitely think they need to have a sign at like the Starbucks locations, because they should send out an email, but a lot of students might not check their email, and so I think it'd be helpful to have a sign maybe by the register or by the entrance of the Starbucks locations.
The switch follows Baylor's new change in food providers for on-campus dining.
Coming up, clubs are hosting their annual back-to-school mixers.
And see what waddled into Cameron Park Zoo. Keep it here.
Let there be light. Let there be roommates and teammates and strangers who become family. Let there be marching and cheering. Let there be challenging courses and time to share. Scholarship and championships. Let there be groundbreaking and soul-searching. Let there be laughter. Let there be joy. Let there be light.
Wayland elections, the country's future remains unclear, and the Baylor community is coming together to show support. Irma Pena has the story.
After a month of the Venezuelan elections, there's still uncertainty about Venezuela's future. The people in Venezuela have gone out to the streets to peacefully protest for Venezuela's liberty. Those who are on the outside try to raise awareness of this situation.
People should feel like their government is doing everything that it can to take care of people. What we've seen in Venezuela is massive outmigration, people actually leaving entire cities and entire places.
Baylor students with a Venezuelan background live through the constant worry because their families are suffering through this social oppression after the elections.
But I still feel a responsibility and a connection to everything that's going on inside. And I think that's also a weight I carry around, kind of a guilt for not being there, for not being able to do more.
Just like Lopez, many Venezuelans work every day to bring awareness to the issue because they dream of reuniting with their families and being able to see their country free. For Lariat TV News, I'm Irma Pena.
South African penguins make a splash at Cameron Park Zoo. Marissa Muniz has the story.
The Gloria and FM Young Penguin Shores exhibit is finally open at Cameron Park Zoo. This $12.8 million habitat has been in the making for a while and is the perfect home for these South African penguins.
This has a massive life support system that maintains the water quality that these penguins have access to. It's chilled, there's a wave pool. Everything about this is designed for the benefit of the penguins.
You can find the penguins' names on their wings, which are also labeled by gender. Male penguins have red bands on their right wings, while female penguins have purple on their left. There are 22 penguins in total, each bringing different personalities to the zoo.
So we have to know these birds' normals. We have to know their attitudes. So if anything's a little bit off, that we know to look out for them.
The Waco community has enjoyed meeting these penguins.
People are like, "Oh yeah, you work with penguins. It's so much fun." Well, it's fun. It's fun. I get bruises. I get, all sorts of things. You get fish flung on you, whatever. It is fun.
The penguins have acclimated greatly to their new home, and zookeepers have worked together to give them the best experience.
Cameron Park Zoo is open every day from 9 to 5. So if you're looking for something new to do around Waco, come on down and meet the zoo's 22 new South African penguins and even more animals. For Lariat TV News, I'm Marissa Muniz.
Latinx Night took place Wednesday, where Baylor's Latino community got to share their roots and traditions. Incoming freshmen and students who are interested in joining a club got to check out the many Latin American organizations on campus, including the Hispanic Student Association, Baylor Lash, and more. Latino students were reminded that they can find a home away from home while still celebrating their culture.
I have amazing students who want to build relationship, want you to know that this is your family away from home.
Notable author Tim Alberta came to Waco to speak about his new book that deals with religion and politics. Wednesday afternoon, a large crowd of people from around the Waco community came to hear him speak and got the chance to buy a signed copy of his new book, The Kingdom, the Power, the Glory. Alberta said that he hopes this will encourage people to make a change in the church.
I really wrote the book as sort of a love letter to the church, sort of pleading with a lot of my brothers and sisters in Christ to reckon with a lot of the damage that has been done.
The Sub hosted another cultural event this week with the Mosaic Mixer on Thursday night. Freshmen and new students got to connect with organizations and clubs celebrating students with the Asian community. From sororities to fraternities, engineer societies to cultural food clubs, there was something for everyone to get involved in. Club members are excited to inspire this next generation to be involved in their clubs.
My second time. So last year I came here as a freshman and I got to experience it as a freshman, and then now I get to actually work at one of the booths, which is so nice. So I get to kind of be on the other side of things. Yeah.
A former member of the men's golf team has returned to the team as part of the coaching staff.
And we tell you what you need to know about Baylor football's upcoming bout with Utah next.
We were born to run. There's a spark in your heart and a fire that's in your eyes. For the hope that you know everything's gonna be alright. Living our best life, taking it all in stride. The light will be a guide. We were born to run. We were born to run.
Men's golf has a familiar face on staff, and I had the opportunity to talk to him about what he's been doing while away. After a 9-year professional career, Kyle Jones is back with men's golf with the hopes of bringing confidence and inspiration to the team. Jones's story with golf began as a kid, playing with his dad and being taken to courses with him. As he got older, he started going by himself and eventually got a recruitment letter from Baylor before his senior year of high school.
Came for a visit, loved the school, loved the campus, had a good feeling here, so made it an easy decision, and I'm glad I did.
Kyle was on the team during Coach McGraw's first season at Baylor, and Coach said that he knew Kyle would be successful post-college.
I knew that he was going to play professional golf when I watched him his senior year, my first year at Baylor. But I just loved the way he took care of his business. He was a quiet assassin. He just quietly went about his business, and he averaged, I think, 4th place finish that year in 13 college golf tournaments.
After college, Kyle began his professional career, spending nearly a decade on the Korn Ferry and PGA tours. This summer, after looking for a career change, he contacted his old coach.
And it was 10 days later, he texted me and said the former assistant Corey was leaving, and it was almost like a sign to me to this is what we needed to do.
Since Kyle had such an extensive career, he hopes that he can use his experience to inspire players that he's coaching.
You don't have to make such a big change in your golf to get you to that level. It's just focusing on the little things and getting better at those. And I think those are what makes the biggest difference.
Coach McGraw hopes that hiring Kyle as a coach will motivate his team.
I told him when he left college, I said, Kyle, some people have been given a lot, but you've done a lot with what you've been given. And it to me is an example and a model for all of our players. You can get a lot out of what God gave you.
Golf's season kicks off this weekend with the Gopher Invitational in Minneapolis. For Lariat TV News, I'm Claire Marie Scott. Baylor football is hoping to start the season 2-0 with an upset win in Salt Lake City this week as they take on 11th-ranked Utah. The Utes are coming off a dominant 49-0 win over Southern Utah in Week 1, Seventh-year quarterback Cam Rising threw 5 touchdown passes and 254 yards in Utah's Week 1 win. It'll be the second matchup between the two teams, with Utah winning last year in Waco 20-13. A win on Saturday would be Baylor's first road win against a top 25 team since 2015.
We ready. Like it's a revenge tour. We're ready to step it up, and this time we know it's going to be a physical game. We're going to take all 4 quarters, but we're prepared.
Kickoff is set for 2:30 at Rice-Eccles Stadium on Saturday. With the win over Tarleton State in Week 1, Baylor football is 1-0 for the first time in 2 years, and Daquan Finn is a big reason why.
One of Baylor football's biggest offseason additions was transfer quarterback Daquan Finn, who's been his first 5 years at Toledo. Daquan was named Baylor's starting quarterback days before the season opener, a game in which he wore the number 7, a very important number to him.
Yeah, I've been wearing 7 since I was, at the age of 7. That's kind of ironic. And my great grandma, her favorite number was 7, and she unfortunately passed away November 7th. So that's why I wear 7 to honor her.
Daquan was the 2023 MVP for Group of 5 Mid-American Conference. And despite the jump to Power 4, he says he's unfazed.
At the end of the day, football is football, and it's kind of similar. Like I said, I came from a similar offense, so a lot of things is not, not like an snap moment. It's kind of like okay, even if I do mess up, it's all right. I know what I did there, and I can correct it the next time. So I'm really not, too phased on the.
Against Tarleton, Daquan threw for 192 and 2 touchdowns, along with 2 interceptions. He also added a score on the ground, running it in from 39 yards out on the first drive of the game.
Daquan's a dog, man. And so you put something in front of him, he's going to knock that down. He's going to run right through the face of the thing, And he's going to bring that attitude right from the beginning. And so that's really cool to see, and I think that our team feeds off of that.
Daquan and the rest of the team travel to Salt Lake City this weekend to play number 11 Utah. For Lariat TV News, I'm Braden Murray.
Baylor football won its first home game of the season exactly 10 years after the first game played at McLean Stadium. LTVN's Braden Murray has the story.
Last weekend, Baylor Athletics celebrated McLean Stadium's 10th anniversary as Baylor beat Tarleton State 45-3 in what was the Bears' best defensive performance since the stadium's opener on August 31st, 2014, when Baylor beat SMU 45-0.
McLean is rocking. It's really, really special. And you could see that with just our staff. I think today was kind of a first start. I think for our fans, we're going to have to win some games so that we can be cool enough to hang out with.
At McLean's first game, there were many special guests, including former President George W. Bush and Heisman winner Robert Griffin III. As part of the 10th anniversary celebrations, Baylor gave out commemorative buttons in Touchdown Alley and souvenir cups at concession stands.
It's going like that, and it's rolling that way. It's as good as it gets. And so the engagement of all of it, I think today was a start. We got work to do there.
On the field, Baylor football gave fans much to cheer about, dominating Tarleton State in nearly every facet of the game.
It set a good tone, just by getting that win. And like I said, knowing all the athletes you got on the team, especially that we got speed, good wide receivers, good running backs all over, good quarterback, good O-line, it come out good.
The Bears got their first home win since September of 2023, which has been almost a year. The Bears have 5 more home games to impress the home crowd. For Lariat TV News, I'm Braden Murray.
Number 23 volleyball is back and has had quite the week. It all started last Friday when the Bears had a 2-0 day defeating Abilene Christian in Tulsa. Junior Allie Check recorded her 500th career kill, and new setter Jackie Barrett Frazier had a double-double with 28 assists and 16 digs. On Saturday, the hot streak continued with a sweep over Campbell. Check recorded an additional 12 kills, and there were 6 combined aces. This weekend, the Bears will be challenged by number 18 Minnesota and number 6 Wisconsin in the 4th iteration of the Big Ten-Big 12 Challenge.
Heart is where we grow. Heart is where we can have great takeaways. And this team's really leaned into wanting gritty practices. And like yesterday was gritty and goofy at the same time. I've been a long time since I had a team that could be both gritty as they are, like a real toughness, like dialed in, but goofy, funny, made me laugh.
First serve for both matches is at 7 p.m. with Minnesota on Friday and Wisconsin on Saturday. That's all for sports this week, but we'll always keep you up to date on all the latest from Baylor Athletics. Back to you, ladies.
Thanks, Claire Marie. And it's not just sports. We'll bring you the news you need to know around campus and Waco.
Until we see you again, have a great week, and as always, sic 'em Bears.